Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is season 3, episode 3. Mitch told me it was, so I had to double check that. And again, the rest of the season is going to be shop owners.
Woo.
But we have Mitch here. Mitch, how's it going?
Hello, humanoids. Oh shit! Wait, wrong channel. My bad. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got Dave from BLUETILE.
What is up, humans?
So yeah, we've just been talking about different shop owners. We had Steve from NJ last week, and obviously you guys have a lot going on down there. And definitely
Yeah.
doing some interesting things, which is exciting. So we just kind of wanted to touch base with you. And it's so funny, like we've never actually met, but I feel like we've talked forever.
Our our circle of friends is very tight. Yeah, yeah. It's very close. We have a lot of common friends for sure.
I was saying to Steve earlier, like I remember getting a text from Kai and be like, "Yo, have you ever skated with that guy from BLUETILE?" He's like, "I saw him ollie a picnic table."
Yeah. I can't. Did Vern? Yeah, Vern filmed that, and Nicholas Delvell. I'm gonna say his name wrong. He shot
Yeah.
a sick photo of it. I was pretty hyped on it, and yeah, that was actually that ollie over the picnic table was the first day after my recovery time. Like I had back
Okay.
surgery and I had to be off my skateboard for 8 weeks. That was the first day back on my skateboard. Like Vern was like, "Where do you want to go?" And I was like, that spot where Costin like no complies over the picnic table. He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I want to try to kickflip it," and he was like, "What?" I didn't get the kickflip. I struggled too much with the ollie to try the kickflip, but I thought I was going to kickflip it.
Still, you had to be in your 40s at that point, and that's pretty damn
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah, yeah. I was early 40s, 44 maybe,
I was gonna
43 or
say because that was
44.
years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like we've been talking forever.
Crazy. Yeah. Might have been
So,
42.
so how long's the shop been open now?
So we just passed 22 years, September
Wow.
21st, 2001. Yeah, crazy.
Wow, congratulations on that. That's in skateboarding years, that's like 100 years. So
Dude, it is this many years. Like seriously, I've been through some like really hard mental stressful mental breakdown times. Like it's been amazing, but definitely hard times for sure.
Yeah. So, was there like a shop in that area before that closed down, or was it like you
No,
just saw a need in that area of like, there's no good shop around here. Like, there needs to be.
yeah. So I was actually living in Salt Lake City in my early 20s, kind of snowboarding a little bit. But I was like, what the hell am I going to do with my life? I was like working for a screen printer. Like actually, I was working for an embroidery department at the time. Um, had a pass to Brighton and was snowboarding and skating a lot. And my friend Tom opened this shop called Blindside in Salt Lake City, and I was kind of like, man, this I always wanted to do. So like I was like, I'm gonna move back home and open a shop because there wasn't one. And literally the month I moved back home, or a month before I moved back home, a surf shop opened up that carried skate stuff. And I was like, damn it! Like all my friends worked there. I was like, ah, but I didn't even have the financial means to do it. Like I was like, I'm gonna do it, but I had no idea how I was gonna do it. So then I moved back and I didn't do it because that shop opened, and it took me 3 years to finally go. The owner of that shop, they're still open. The owner of that shop now is really cool, but the manager, the old manager, was just kind of just a nerd. He kind of sucked. Like he didn't carry any deluxe stuff. He didn't carry Spitfires, and like there was all these things he didn't carry, and he was always,
When you're a surfer who's happens to sell
yeah,
skateboards or
yeah,
whatever, like it just doesn't translate.
right. So like I was, yeah, I was just kind of like he was super mean about skating. He's like, I don't need this. Like skaters don't spend any money here, and blah 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 blah. I was just like, okay, like I just take that berating forever, and then I had a moment. Like I've also been vegan most of my life, so like I was skating these shoes, and they were like Ed Templeton shoes, America Ed Templetons, and the sole fell off while I was skating. So I was like, God damn it! So I went back to the shop, and they were beat, like they were ready to be replaced. and I asked the dude, he was selling these Donnie Barley shoes. Praise Donnie Barley. He was selling Donnie Barleys for $120.
What you talking about, Willis?
And like I think the suggested retail back then was $80. So I was like, dude, I'm not asking for a deal, but I just want suggested retail. Just please, can you give me a deal, like suggested retail?
Yeah.
He told me I didn't shop there enough to support that. And I was like, literally, my hat, my shirt, my pants, my shoes, my complete board, and the wallet I had my fucking money in was bought there. And I was just like, man, I'm making like $9 an hour. So, like trying to live on my own. Like I was like, I spend every dollar I can here. And so I just like, that was it. That was the moment where I was like, I'm going to do it. So I started writing a business plan at that literally the next day. But he did end up selling me the Barleys, but not without being a dick about it. And I was like, this is the last thing I'm buying from him. So yeah.
That's cool. There's like a moment where you can identify of like, see, here's this need.
Yeah.
And I need to, somebody's got to do it. Might as well be me.
And it was cool. I mean, like I've been skating at the time, like almost 20 years. It's so crazy now. It's like almost 40. It's 40 years. I've been skating for 40 years, which is crazy. But at the time, it was like I've been skating almost 20 years. So the community, I already knew it. I know, I'm like, I'm going to open a shop and these are the kids I'm going to sponsor and these are the things I'm going to do. It's just like, and it was, I don't know, it just felt really good. And even though I started with $3,000, I started with $3,000, the community supported it so strongly. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's great. When you're like already in the community and then you open the store in the area that you're already part of, it's like, what the needs are, what like everybody's kind of into.
That was the craziest thing. I was like, I think I'm going to do it. I presented it to my family. I was like, look, I was hoping to get money from all of my family and extended family, but nobody really has a ton of money. So I was able to scrape up like $3,000 and I had 2 credit cards that were $1,500 each. So I just maxed out the credit cards on hard goods, Eastern and South Shore, and just like opened with $3,000 worth of stuff. And then every month I would just keep increasing, like keep maxing out that credit card until I had a shitload of credit card debt.
We all know that story.
Yeah. So, which you couldn't even survive that way now. Because the internet is such a thing. Like there's no way you could start with a shop with $3,000 and people would walk in and go, oh, cool. That's exactly what I was looking for. Back then people shopped different. Like they went to the shop and they shopped your selection. They didn't go online, figure out what they wanted and then try to find it at a store.
Yeah. Oh, if you happen to have it, cool. But if not, I'll buy it from this online store and have it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We had a shop here recently. He made it 2 years, which I'm surprised about. But he had no money. He started up with like a pandemic savings from when his COVID money, and he started up, and it was just he couldn't. And he was thinking, he was hoping people would support him, but he really had so little. Like we're cool, known you forever, love you, but I can only get so many shop T-shirts and socks. Like
I know, yeah.
So it's hard. It sucks. I feel bad, but he just closed up recently, and
pre-internet, he might have been able to pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that recently too. It's like how many small shops did we have like in our area in like that early 2000s bubble of like in the late 90s of like, oh yeah, remember that shop that was there for a year or that shop that was but it's like that just wasn't sustainable.
That was kind of my mantra. Like I was like, oh shit, like every year it's like here's another shop, and they think like everyone thinks that there's a shop in Columbia, but I need one in my backyard. I need a shop on every corner. And it's just like as soon as that shop opens, it's just like you have 2 struggling shops in town instead of 1 struggling. And they're like really like so it's super hard. A new shop opens and then they go out of business in 6 months or a year or whatever, it's like it screws your sales up for that 1 year, and you're just like, making it by skinnier teeth. So
yeah, it's not like you're trying to have this monopoly, but at the same time,
there's just
yeah,
not enough.
We're barely surviving as it is, and now you're cutting into. So have you always been in that same spot?
I've been in this same area. Like I've been in 3 different locations.
Okay.
Like the first location I was in was literally like 700 square feet. It was really small. And then I moved into a 15 or 1600 square foot spot, and then had some like plumbing issues. And now I'm in a 2300 square foot spot, which is when I moved all the screen printing stuff from my friend Larry's garage into the store. He was just
he's doing it back in the store.
Yeah.
That's
it's cool. Like kind of, I'm in 2 storefronts, so they're side by side.
Okay.
But you can't see in the one. It's like, so the screen printing's on one side and the skate shop's on a side and a half, and then the studio is in the very back.
Okay, so that is all in the shop too. I was wondering about that.
Lot going on.
I always thought it was like your bedroom or something.
Dude, there is so much stuff stacked in front of me, like just so much. Yeah, all the holiday stuff starting to come in. Usually I do like little on foot videos and stuff. I'm like, there's just boxes everywhere. I'm not moving all that shit for a sneaker video.
So something Steve brought up that I totally forgot about was you guys had that flood a couple years ago.
Yeah, the 2015 flood. Yeah. So the area where we're in floods a lot, but we're kind of prepared for that. If it flooded right now, we'd be fucked because there's so much stuff in the shop. It would be hard to get everything off the floor. But we're pretty prepared for the average flood that comes through here, which will be a couple of inches of water in the store. I saw that happen to Brooklyn Projects recently, and everyone's like, "Oh, you didn't do this," or you cannot plan for 100% protection from a flood. But the 2015 flood, we have all these like neighborhoods above us, and because we're kind of in like a trough, and the neighborhoods above us are kind of richer areas, and they all have like their little neighborhood lakes and stuff, and it just rained for weeks and weeks and weeks, and the dams turned to mud. And so I think it was 30 something lakes or something like that, the Arcadia lakes, and there was like a big lake on one of the military bases nearby. All the dams gave, and just like half the city was underwater. It was pretty terrible. So the shop didn't actually get it that bad that time. We did have some damage, but like because the rest of the neighborhood was screwed up, like everybody, literally people's houses were completely submerged in some parts of the town. Pretty like 1 block down from my house, people were completely underwater, but I was on like a hill, so my basement filled up and fucked up a lot of stuff, but not my whole house. So nobody was shopping. Like, who has any money to shop for 2 months after they lost everything? That was the biggest monetary hit to the store during that time, was nobody shopping anymore. A very trying time, but the community was awesome. Like everybody supported super, super hard. Some of my buddies that own a tattoo shop threw an event, Divine Street Tattoo. Thank you guys for that. And like, it's always hard times, but the community supports.
It was cool because it seemed like even like the skate community kind of got behind you and helped you guys out a little bit. And because I saw it all over the place.
Brands, everybody, it's like, but that said, I still have, you get those like FEMA loans. I took out $60,000 worth of loans, so I'm going to be paying those off for still several years, So we've recovered, but I still have all that low interest disaster loans.
So then you were talking about the screen printing being in there. So you guys screen print a lot of like your shop merch?
Yeah, I think that like that's what I was doing before I opened the shop. I just went to like screen printed in high school, right out of high school, and then like managed an embroidery department for one place. And then even when I opened the shop, I worked a night job for 2 years. But it was because the owner of the screen print shop I worked at was so cool. He was so excited. honestly, he could be a total asshole, and most people don't like him. But he was so excited and inspired that I wanted to start my own business that he like pulled me aside and he's like, I'll create a night shift for you to manage so you can have an income while you're starting your own business, which was amazing. But that said, for 2 years, I worked 10 to 7 at the shop every day of the week, except for Sunday. And then 8 to 2 in the morning at my night job. And so like, that's what I was saying. Like, and I didn't take a paycheck from the shop for at least that long, but I was like having, I gained 30 pounds that I still haven't lost. The skate shop kind of BLUETILE ruined my skateboarding, it's like, but yeah, I gained 30 pounds. I went fucking crazy, like where you just be sitting there and just cry because you're just like, how am I going to continue to do this? But the shop wasn't making enough money to like quit the night job.
Yeah, literally burning it at both ends.
Yeah, so eventually, and I still burn at both ends, which is crazy, but it's on so much like more fun things, But like, eventually, I was like, I'm either going to have a heart attack at 30 something, or I'm going to have to like take the plunge and just try to just do the shop. And so I finally did. Hired a couple of homies, and they helped me out once things picked up. But it also was like a shocking, like holy crap, like this surf shop guy said skateboarders didn't bring him any money at all, and we did like $270,000 in the first half of year I opened, and it was people don't realize how little a margin that is in skateboarding.
Yeah, right.
It sounds ridiculous, money, but it's like a lot of that is just investing back in inventory. Obviously, I had to have taken that much from him in sales that year, so pretty crazy.
I think it's amazing that like when you were doing that, you had to work 2 jobs. You did an extra job because there's people too who I know, and I love them, but trying to do a shop, and it's like you need a second income, and that you got to be in that shop every day, and you got to put in work. You can't just expect I open the doors and everybody's going to buy this stuff and come in.
No. I have that conversation a lot. I totally missed the question though. Like I talked about where I was when I opened the shop because I was screen printing. So when I did get the shop running, and I think Peter at Faith does this too. He likes screen prints, and there's several. There's several other shops that do it. If I wasn't like looking at a camera right now, I'd talk to this dude all the time. God. I'm just like zoning out, like just brain farting, but I can't remember who it was right now. Anyway, several people screen print, and it's just something that I think is obviously not like scalable if you're like, I'm going to become this huge brand, but it's so much more fun to be like, this is what we can do. Like it may be like small scale. We can only print so much, and it's like, but it's so much more fun and it feels so much more personal to like do it ourselves.
But I think that's super cool because like when like the dunk craze was going on the last few years, like you were pumping out those shirts that went with the releases, and they were all like very shop specific, and but it's still related back to like the golf ones and like the pink pig ones. Like you guys did so many cool ones like that.
Some of those shirts, like I woke up one morning and dude, I had a DM from Raekwon, and I was like, wait. I was like, when you wake up, text me. Raekwon sent me his number to text him. I was like, what? Wow. And he was talking to another buddy at New Yak. He was like pointing out T-shirts he liked. He's like, I like this one and this one and this one. He's like, oh, those are all BLUETILE shirts. Like, here's his information. And he like hit me up and just wanted like BLUETILE shirts. I was like, yes. No, I will not charge Raekwon for BLUETILE T-shirts. But I was like so excited. I like screenshot it and send it to all my homies. Like, yo, Wu-Tang's in the DMs.
That's amazing.
It was. It definitely made my morning. So,
But
but yeah, it just makes it more personal. We've started printing our own boards now too.
Oh wow.
So like, you know, we do it as often as we can, which isn't very often because we're doing 12,000 things. But we did just do a collab with Toro Imoa, which is a friend of mine who started a band out here, and he now lives in Salt Lake City. He lives in San Francisco, and they're huge. But he just did like an EP. Yeah, he just did this EP, and it's all super nostalgic. So it's like taking it back to South Carolina and just like focusing on growing up in South Carolina. So he was like, hey, let's do some shirts and boards and stuff like that. So he's like taking the BLUETILE shirts and boards on tour, which is kind of sick.
Oh, wow, that's dope.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, the boards, it's definitely hard to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, we have friends here who have a shop in Jersey, and they have like a screen printing business on the side.
Yeah.
And like they've printed shop boards and trying to figure out how to just like get it to sit right, and so it doesn't go, you know, working with
loose
the concaves
strings
and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a dude here, Chris, who went to school for that kind of stuff, and he skated for the shop. He's like one of the OG team riders, and he's a really talented printer. Can pretty much do everything. Like usually I'm like sewing the labels into things. Like I do this, I have a little sewing machine on my desk right here, and I'll sew the labels in and sew the patches on. And he was slow. He might have just screwed himself because he was like, I think I could do that. Like, yeah, just, and they look better than when I do it. So I'm like, shit. I guess Chris is going to do the screen printing and the
You're the guy now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but he
all that stuff helps. It's, you know, it's getting your name out there all over the place. And
yeah. I love it. It's also like the last couple drops, we've been trying to be more intentional with our drops. Like instead of just going, hey, here's a new shop shirt, it's like, here's the collection we've been working on, and everybody contributes. And we like printed hang tags for it, and like little twine and pin. It's so silly that it's just a hang tag on a shirt that no one cares about. But like as we're all like looking at them on the vax, there's like so much pride in just seeing all the shirts with the little hand screen printed hang tags.
Yeah, honestly,
nobody knows that we put that much effort into it, but it felt really good to do.
Yeah, I just picked up a couple things, and the tags are definitely like, it stands out. Like those little things are what makes a difference.
Awesome.
People ever try and talk you guys out of doing that stuff? Like, you should just go get those made and they'll mail them to you online or something.
Yeah. You
guys
can do it cheaper in China. I'm like, I don't care. I'd rather just do it. Like, also, like, we spend a lot of care. I mean, I saw what you ordered, a Love BLUETILE on a Nike shirt.
Yeah.
That's a high quality blank, you know? I'm like,
yeah,
not getting some shitty 50/50 Gildan tee and putting a thing on it. We're buying like heavyweight, high thread count, like really nice t-shirts. And sometimes people can't notice, just don't see the quality or can't feel the difference. And it blows my mind, like that people can't tell the difference.
Oh no, if I see like a shop has specific shirts,
yeah,
you know, it's like, I just picked up a shirt from Blue Flowers.
Yeah.
And they were printing all their stuff on Comfort Colors.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, I'll keep buying these because I know I like the fit of those shirts.
I like those too. And that's, the Comfort Colors is one of the low end shirts that we use. So it's a very nice blank, but it's like our entry level blank is kind of like the Comfort Color stuff. Yeah.
But then when you get one and it's like you said, like some, shitty like Hanes blank that's like a one and done, like I'm going to watch this and never be able to wear it again.
Yeah. There is a place for that stuff. I get it. And we will do that when people are like, man, your t-shirts are so expensive. I'm like, okay, well, here's a cheap one. We can do that.
This tee sucks. And it's like, that's why we have the better ones.
Hey, get what you pay for.
Most people, like, it's weird. Most people can't tell. I think it's just like people who nerd out on apparel and fashion, if you want to call it that, and stuff. You can feel the difference. Plus, like, a lot of our stuff is like certified, like fair trade cotton, and You know, like just try to just be intentional with it.
Yeah, that definitely echoes something Steve said last week, where it's like it's not just a T-shirt; it's a intentional collection that we put together, and it all kind of like like have a little more intention to it. It's cool.
Yeah.
I remember when I was doing DOA in Northern, and it was like, oh, I got to buy shop shirts from all these places. Like, thanks for the order. And it was funny. Like, I had a stack of ones that I was like, wear them once, and I was like, I can never wear these again.
Yeah.
You know, and it sucks. And some of them, it's like, that was a $40 T-shirt, and it's it's like a Gildan short wide.
Yeah. Well, it's short. The wide tee is actually in, but it's like it's got to be the right kind of short and wide.
This was pre-crop top.
Yeah.
But I remember I was like, oh man. So I used to start asking at the time. I was like, do you guys who uses all style? That's what I always liked.
Yeah.
I had people tell me those shirts are like cardboard, and but they at least they fit. They would stay longer, and then that all changed too around COVID. Mitch, you're gonna have to teach me about all the cool shirts that are out now.
Oh, please. I'm like, I just know this fits.
Yeah.
I find one and I'm like,
fashion guru.
It's like shoes. Yeah. Like, once I find a shoe that fits.
Yeah.
Until they change it the next run.
Oh, so that is a perfect place to transition. So, talking about shoes.
Yeah.
Dude, so you started this YouTube channel, and it's something that nobody's really I mean, obviously YouTube's been around forever, but it's something that, like, nobody's really tapping into, of like really talking about every shoe that they get in and like going in depth with it. Yeah. Like I know it started with like all the dunks because everybody wanted to talk about dunks at that point, and it was like, but now you're doing it on everything.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of always tried to cover everything, and it's funny because like my videos used to be more vloggy, so it would just be like, oh, I'm just pulling this out of the box. It just came in, it's like, and then I'm like talking and doing 12 other things, it's like, because I've been doing the channel for like 8 or 9 years, I think, and a lot of times it was just following we'd go on a trip to Portland or San Francisco or wherever, and I'm just like documenting and skating. It's like people don't realize, like, when you're following people around and you're like posting stuff on YouTube, you're like in people's life, you're like in their face, in their life, and nobody wants that all the time. It started to wear thin on the people around me, so it was like, well, I get it. It sucks because I know that like the guys look back on those trip videos so fondly and love watching them. But it's just the process of getting it there is like, oh God, get that fucking camera out of my face. It's like, but it's really not much different than filming a skate video. You're just like, it's like all outtakes.
It's all the B-roll.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're filming like the real shit, that we used in Lovers or whatever else. But I'm filming the bullshit, and sometimes the bullshit gets uncomfortable. So, but yeah, honestly, like I was, like my friend John Hill, who's YouTube famous.
Hello, my name is John Hill. I am a professional skateboarder who just recently moved to Los Angeles.
Got us a warehouse here for a year. Just like dropped the loot for the whole rent for the year, and started a side channel where the BLUETILE guys kind of like did YouTube videos and did whatever he asked, basically. But I was like, well, I'm going to use the warehouse to just try to come back after my back surgery and everything, and every other injury. But then I fucked my knee up, and I'm like, that's been all of my 30s, 40s, and I'm sure 50s. It's like, all right, cool. I'm fucking getting back on top. Right now, I'm feeling pretty healthy. I'm getting lean again. I'm skating pretty well again, and I'm just waiting for it. I'm going to get fucking hurt again. But anyway, I was skating in that warehouse. I was literally just doing a 50-50 on a quarter pipe, but I was going fast, so I shot out. And like, say this is the platform's going towards me, and I was like carving like this, and I shot out, and my legs went this way, and my knee just checked the coping. Holy, like, and the way I did it, I slid down the ramp on my back, and the metal at the bottom cut my back, like cut my shirt, cut my back, and everything. But I like jumped up because I'm like, I'm not done. I'm still going. I'm still going. I'm still doing it. And I was like, but I couldn't even stand up. I like tried to jump up and keep skating, but I couldn't skate. So then for 6 or 8 months, I couldn't skate. So I was like, well, I can still make product videos. So yeah, it just kind of naturally turns more into sneaker videos because there's more to say about them. Like there's a story, there's features to it, And then like one day somebody was like, hey, congrats on 10K. And I was like, what? Like the last time I looked at my subscribers was like 6,000. Like what the hell happened? And it was just like, oh, wait, I just kind of hit the nail on the head somehow. Like people want to learn about shoes. And it's just kind of started from there. It was like turned into just fucking sneakers. I'm trying to figure out a way to do more hard goods. But it is hard.
And there's just not as much to talk about. Like
there's not as much.
Every single shoe is different.
Yeah.
Versus like.
But I mean, think about like the year of the wheel was basically like this year. It's like you had the Dragon formula come out and kind of shook things up, and then Andy Anderson's wheel come out and shake things up, and it's like like all of a sudden Bones is doing stuff, and then you had
that X formula wheel. Honestly, like, I'm pretty sold on it.
I'm skating X Formula wheels right now, which I never thought I would say that I wasn't skating.
Yeah, have you told me 2 years ago that I'd be skating Bones wheels again?
Same. I do have some Sapphires on my desk that I'm going to set up and cruise around on, but I know that's a different type of vibe.
Yeah.
But
I'm never going to ride these things.
They're so good. It's
not
weird.
to get off topic, but my friends were big into them. My friends were like, these are sick, and we can slide further on our curbs. And I'm like, okay. But I rode on it, and I was like, but it doesn't feel like a skateboard to me.
But the 97s do.
Okay, what is that? The Cubic is a 97?
No,
I think it's still
X Formula ones.
Oh, I'm skating X Formula 97. I also have some X Formula 95s, but they haven't released those yet. It was like a prototype, and I love them. They're so good.
See, I had to wait till the 99s came out. I can get down with the 99s. The 97s were a little too soft still.
Yeah. Okay. Kid in my town has 99s, and I tried them, and they felt good, but they don't make them small enough for me.
But you skate, that's what I was about to say. You skate tiny wheels, hard tiny wheels on the East Coast.
Yeah.
He likes to make his skateboarding as difficult as possible.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, God, I can't. I'm too old and rickety to push down the street on just like.
Yeah, it limits what I can skate. I'll say I noticed it, and there's times I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna get a set of 52s, and I'm gonna get a normal board, not something that's like convex. And I'll have like a day, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Ollies feel better, and then I'm just like, I hate this. I can't.
Yeah, and you skate low trucks.
Yeah.
Low trucks, small wheels.
So I'm like your ideal customer to come in and be like, we don't have any of that.
We don't have that.
Yeah. Who wants this?
Yeah.
And I'll be the one to go into the shop, and I'm like, how do you not have low ventures? And they're looking at me like, are you 5? Like,
they don't make what size board do you ride?
I went down in board size, so I'm down to an 8.
Okay. They don't make over an 8 1/4 in hot and lows anymore.
No, and except for Ace does now, but before that, I would put washers. I'd have 3 washers on each axle to extend them because I used to ride 8.3. I'd get flat 8.3 boards. South Central has this vert mold in it. On smaller boards, it's like super mellow. And I'd have my venture lows, have like 3 washers on the inside to push the wheels out, and it would look like a hoverboard when I'm skating. And it drove me crazy. So now I figured out smaller board. I can ride the trucks I want to ride.
Yeah.
And it seems to be mentally, it's just better for me. But now it's like 8-inch boards, like another hard one to get sometimes.
Well, I'm going the opposite direction. I'm on a 9-inch board.
Wow.
With the 66 Stage 4 Indies and a 56 X Formula.
Vert setup. But that I wish I
don't
could
even
ride
skate
that.
Transition.
Yeah. I
Dude,
wish
he
I could ride
calls
it.
my 52s a vert setup, so don't
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
over a 51.
I venture
like,
vert setup.
I think I might be skating 54s right now, actually. So that is a.
But yeah,
that's a
honestly,
low
I was
rider.
just having that conversation with Angel today. Like, we were reviewing like our pre-book numbers, and it's like, dude, we booked a third of our numbers are maybe 8 and 8-1, and everything else is 8-2-5 and up.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
8 and 8-1 are just dying.
It seems like they're coming back a little bit. Some of the guys, like Josh, who's my photographer, he went down to an 8-1 recently.
Yeah, we had a bunch of people ask us to make 8-7-5 popsicles, so I think that's going to be next season.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm skating a limousine board. It's huge. It's a 9, and I think it's got a 15-inch wheelbase on it. But it feels super good.
Yeah. Hey, if it works for you.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
again, the best part of skating, and I'll always say this, that everybody rides something different. Everybody, it's that's like when people come in like, oh, my kid's starting, he wants the best, and it's like, how do you answer that? Like, I can give you the most expensive. I don't know.
Yeah. So I've got a kind of a stock answer for that because we're all skate nerds that work here, it's like, or at least do the orders, it's like, do you like everything in? Yeah, I like everything. I buy everything. So I only buy stuff I like. If I'm like, oh, this is kind of terrible, I don't believe in it, I don't stock it. Unless it's like somebody's just asking for it over and over and over. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll get it for you, so. Because I don't want to like.
That's the wrong graphic.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh man, I wanted the blue one. Do they make the blue one in 8 1/4? I was wanting to make more like hard goods videos. There's less to say, but also when I'm skating, dude, I'm enjoying skating so much again right now that to bring a camera and put that divide. I hate selfie skating, not just because it's not very exciting to watch, but also because it's just this barrier between you and your skateboard. And it's like, oh, now I'm going to go to the spot, but let me grab my camera and set up, and now I have to think like, all right, I'm going to have to do some kick flips for these dudes. I'm going to have to do some, it's just like, I just want to go skate. I don't want to think about that. And so that's why it's been hard to get back into the hard goods reviews and stuff like that, because people do want to see you actually use it.
But that's why I do like the shoe reviews, because you get into like a lot of detail, and like you're using terminology like the average person doesn't know.
This vamp material is sewn into the Strobel stitch. Yeah.
Like I watched the one about those suede 480s today, just for like a reference.
Right.
Where you're talking about like, this part goes underneath and doesn't go all the way to the sole, but in this previous one it does. And
I was looking for some shoes that, honestly, this is one of my favorite shoes I've had in a very long time.
Is that the fast break?
Fast break?
Yeah. The all-timer, right? It's the all-timer's fast break.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't super glue the seams first.
I didn't, because I try to just let it go and see, so I can tell people like, but these held up pretty fucking well for a shoe with like no real protection on the toe cap,
But I think that's another part of the channel that like I appreciate, is like you are very honest with a lot of that stuff, where like if the seams blow out, you will say that right away. You're like,
right,
oh yeah, the seam, like this dunk, it's not stitched underneath, or it's not turn and stitched. So you like, you make sure you glue these ones or whatever. Like,
but even turn and stitch, if you want them to last extra long, put a little dab of glue, super glue on there. It's going to help it even more. It's like, I just try to do that, but lately I've not been doing that. I want to see how they wear out. But someone commented on my 480 video and said that the vamp is not sewn into the Strobel, and I was like, I swear mine pulled apart. If it's not sewn into the Strobel, it goes right down to it, like right down to the sole. But he said he intentionally cut the toe wrap off of his shoe and then had to try to glue it back on. I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah, right.
He stopped
threw
interacting.
$100 away.
Yeah, he stopped interacting with me, so I was like, damn it, I want answers. But because that channel is a community, I'm like looking for feedback too. Like, tell me what you think, like, I don't know. That's the fun part.
I think it's great.
But even that, like, the average consumer doesn't even know what the hell the Vamp and the Strobel are.
I try to point to it. Like,
that's what I mean. Like, I feel like people are getting stuff out of that just from watching those videos, you know?
Yeah. So it is weird. Like, I got in this stupid social media battle with this kid, and he's like, why are we listening to this dude who looks like he's 50? I'm like, motherfucker, you don't know how right you are. But he's like, obviously dyes his hair. I'm like, I don't dye my hair. But like, my hair is black for some reason, and my beard, you know, it's like, he's like, probably can't kickflip and buys kid clothes, so we'll think he's cool or something. So I'm like, dude, this kid is like hitting on every insecurity you could possibly have as an aging skateboarder, you know, like. But he's like, why would we trust his word over any of this stuff? And this was about buying fake sneakers. I'm like, dude, like, because I've been selling shoes for 22 years, like, doesn't that mean anything?
Right? Yeah, I kind of know what I'm talking about.
Like, and it's like, it's just something. Somehow you start picking up on things. You know, if you don't, then you're not excited about it. I want to know more. Like, when I went out to New Balance I guess it was beginning of the year, maybe. I'm like talking to designers, like, tell me more. Like, I want to know everything. Like, I want to know the material science and like, but nobody gives you all that, you know. I try to look that stuff up, like what pour on really is and stuff like that, you know, which I went into for a video one time and then edited it all out because nobody cares about these little fucking micro chambers that refill with air.
Wow.
But it's interesting to I'm interested in that stuff just to see, like, you know, why are they saying this isn't just like some bullshit sales tactic? Like, there really is something to it somewhere. Like, it's all based in something.
It's very noticeable. It's the same thing if somebody goes, man, $80 for a hoodie, I can get this at Target for $30. I'm like, can you not tell the thread count difference? Can you not touch it in your hands, feel the difference? Like, it's the same with shoes. Like, I had this buddy, and he passed away a couple years ago, but he was like 100% all in on air speeds. You know, like, I'm going to Walmart and I'm buying air speeds, and you can't convince me. He's like, you're drinking that Nike juice. And I was like, dude, I can't. Can you not feel your feet? Like, so he was convinced that there was no difference. I'm like, you got cardboard as the Strobel board, you know, you've got this crappy hard rubber that doesn't grip. Like, it's, how can you not tell the difference between what they're selling? It's like the Walmart etnies, which I should probably do a video about. Those I wouldn't feel bad about cutting up.
Yeah. Or I try to explain to people that, like, adults that I talk to don't understand the difference between, like, a Famous Footwear pair of Vans and, like, a Skateshop or whatever pair of Vans.
Yeah.
Like, the difference is unbelievable. It's like, I don't see how you don't see that, but...
Yeah, I agree. I feel like you can just pick it up. As soon as you pick it up, you can feel the difference. Like, you don't have to feel all the materials. Just holding it, you're like, whoa, this is not right.
Yeah, maybe but again, that goes back to, like, every skateboarder is different. Like, the shit that I could... There's no way I could wear something like that. Like, I would feel crazy. But then other people that are like, sale rack only and, like, cheap as possible.
Which is a whole nother can of worms right there. The sale rack only people are also the dudes that are like, skater owned or die. And I'm like, dude, you're the one that's putting those brands out of business. You know, it's like, if you really believe and you really love that brand, then you should be buying the new ones, not the clearance stuff. I mean, everyone, you need to move clearance stuff, so I get it and it's appreciated, but you can't only buy clearance stuff and then, like, be on some high horse skater owned thing, because you're not on a high horse, you're just supporting your own bank account, you know, like, which is 100% fine. I'm not discrediting anyone for that, but it's just like, how can you make a shop owner feel bad about what they sell when you only buy things that are discounted, that didn't sell?
I just had a talk. A friend of mine is his shop's going under, and he was just saying, he's like, well, started my clearance sale today because I think he's done in a month, and he was like, and it was insane, and he goes,
Yeah.
it killed him because he was like, these are the people,
It's heartbreaking.
you know, they're saying oh, this just sucks, you're going out of business. It's like, yeah, and you're coming here like vultures to get all my clearance stuff. Where were you before this stuff was on clearance, even to just
Right.
get some, you know? And he's like, it is what it is, but there's people like that, and that's what I said. The same thing is, you're gonna have these people too, like, oh, this was the best shop, you know. They're gonna, and it was
Yeah.
like, well, what'd you buy there? Oh, a pair of sale shoes,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Board companies, when board companies go under, wow, Rasa Libre was sick, cool.
Dude,
What'd you ever buy of
Nate
theirs?
Jones.
Nothing,
Yeah.
you know. And it's like,
I think the smallest board I ever skated, I set up an 8 or an 8-1 Rasa Libre board, Nate Jones, so I could skate the games of skate in front of the shop when I first opened. I was like, I'm gonna set up a trick board.
Trick board, yeah.
Yeah. Just being a smart ass, but yeah. And it was hard as shit to skate. I don't know how anybody skates boards that small.
well, you're what? You're a 11 and a half shoe.
Yeah, 11 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a
So-
9.
Yeah, 6'3", 11 and a half shoe. Big dude.
Yeah. My friend Tim, who does Bob's shirt, he's like, yeah, about that, but he's a size 13, would be 14 if they made him, and he used to ride the 7'4" Guy Mariano boards.
Oh my god.
And probably still would if he could.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
He rides. I was just with him yesterday. We went to the shop over here, and he bought an 8-1 sour Tom Snake board.
They
So,
just
yeah.
re-released those Mike Carroll Astro Boy boards. They were 7'4", I think, right? Or are they 7'6"?
I think they're 7.5. I got the Howard reissues. My
Maybe
friend
that's
showed me
okay.
they're 7.75, and I was like, oh, I'll try one. And I
Yeah.
it felt like I was like, what, the tail's super long. I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah. When they when BA left Girl, I bought a case of Girl like BA boards for like just for me, just like one case, and skated BA boards for I don't know how long it took me to go through 10 boards, you know. Back then probably not very long, but it seemed like they lasted me a while.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Was that because it was
That
his
was
or
an
the
8.5.
shape?
What's that?
Was it because it was his board, the shape, like
It was
both?
all of the above. Like I love Brian Anderson. I got his that board that is that was a board he skated in Tampa Pro and broke. It's just like the only non-signed board on my wall right there. You know, it's like I just like him, but also like it was the 8.5 kind of flat board that I could skate back then. Again, because of some injury, I used to like really steep boards because they got more pop for, you know, big ollies and stuff. But my knees started aching. I was like, I can't do the steep tails anymore. So I got more into girl boards with the flatter stuff for a long time. But I think that limousine board's pretty steep. It feels, maybe it's right in the middle. Feels pretty good.
So then to go along with the YouTube stuff and kind of like new stuff you're doing, this is like within the last couple weeks is like those broadcast channels on Instagram. I think that's like I'm super interested in that because it just seems like it's like I've been following the one that was you were originally doing that was kind of everything, but now like breaking it up into different.
Yeah, I've had the broadcast channels for a while, but I just was like, how could I utilize these things? And you know, like we're not an online Nike dealer. People don't understand that. Sometimes people get really mad at me, like think I'm literally just trying to hurt their feelings by not selling them stuff online. But we're not allowed to sell Nike product on BLUETILESC.com. We can't do it. But, you know, if there's stuff left over, which there rarely is, we can do phone orders. But when I get a phone order, I'm like, yes, send me your name, address, phone number, and your, you know, email address, and I'll send you an invoice. And I was like, well, that would just be an easier conversation to have in a DM versus like a phone call and an email and the thing. And it was just like, all right, cool, we're shock dropping these. I scroll down to the bottom of the DMs and just start from the bottom, and whoever is the size I'm looking for, that's who I send to, you know. So and it's been kind of positive because I have so many fans or supporters or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, just like fans of the shop that are hyped on, but they get pretty bummed that they never, like, I support you, I bought this, I did that, and like I can't ever get a chance to buy some dunks from you. And it's like, well, I can't just like choose this one person and say you're the lucky person I'm going to sell these to. So like I feel like a shock drop. It's just like, hey, I got an 8 and a 9 and a 10 left. You know, like first person to DM me gets it. You know, it feels like you're paying attention, you're supporting, right place, right time. You know, like, and it just feels fair that way, rather than just picking people. You know, so I don't know. It's been fun. People have been hyped on it, and I like try to draw on everybody's boxes and say thanks and all that sort of stuff. And
that's sick.
Little self-portrait and all that crap. But it's been fun, and the feedback's been awesome. You know, so. But
yeah, it's
I
cool
also
to be in there to see how people are reacting to it. Like, not that you can like even comment anything in there, but just to see like how fast you'll post something and how many responses.
Like 400 DMs. And then I'm like, stop DMing me, because every time you do, it puts you up at the top. You know what I mean? If you're like, I'm a size 8. Oh, here's my number. Oh, here's my address. It's like every time you message me, it bumps you up to the top. And I'm working my way from the first message up, you know? So it's like, I try to tell people, like, like if you just copy and paste what the information I need and type it in a note and then copy and paste it to me. So that way you're not, wasting time. I don't know. It's very hard to explain to people because a lot of people don't have access to the broadcast channel thing yet. So I didn't realize that until recently.
Yeah, I just thought it was cool that like you started doing it, and then like how it was originally there was a Nike one and then you did a separate New Balance one.
I had one for all the footwear brands, but like I want to do hard goods too. Or actually I didn't have one for Vans. I didn't have one for, and it was like, damn, I got to keep creating more broadcast channels. This just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, I'm just going to put all new sneaker news in one. And then like, if it's a Quick Strike 480 or like a All-Timers Vans or something crazy like that, it's going to go in the same thing as a Quick Strike dunk would go into. It's like, or a Pokemon board will go into that thing too. It's like, so anything that's like high energy.
Yeah, releasing at a specific time and then.
Yeah. So that just started to make more sense, and it's been super well received. So, of course, you're going to have people that are mad. It's so crazy that people think that my goal in life is to just make sure that they are the person that's left out. I don't know, but for the most part, everyone's hyped.
Yeah, there is that weird sense of entitlement with skateboarders that we'll see. It's always going to be there. Yeah.
Skateboarders, like even shop owners, I will say this, like, all of this is like an evolution. Like we're super wrapped up in music and making our own clothes and skateboarding and footwear or fashion or whatever you want to say. But there's like a lot of shops that are so cool that they can't accept other communities. It's like, dude, I grew up collecting comic books. I know what it's like, like lining up for a new toy drop or some crazy shit. Like, it's the same thing as lining up to get a pair of shoes. So, like, why is a huge part of our community super anti that? It's like, a skate shop needs other sources of revenue, especially in a small town, like somebody like, I don't know the story behind why Lottie's closed, but they didn't carry like a lot of the hype beastie stuff, and that was a great shop, but they didn't last in a huge city. It's like, I think sometimes you need those, like, you need non-skateboarders to support your store, but skaters get mad about that. It's like, wouldn't you rather I sell like cool shoes or like $100 jeans or whatever it is, rather than like paintball and scooters? Like at least
or Pokemon
like,
cards. We have one here that sells Pokemon cards and fake stickers. So yeah, I'll take the cool shoes any day.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, plus it's like, it's just, I'm passionate about that as well. if I was selling scooters, like I would have to like, like figure this thing out.
Pretend that you care.
Pretend that I care. I'm like, I don't know about this, and I don't know what to tell you about it. It's not like I'm faulting anybody for being into it, but I'm not into it, so I can't honestly sell it to you.
Yeah, and I definitely see a lot of like the shops around here when they do the raffles. And it's like, oh yeah, but for every $25 or whatever that you spend, you can get an extra raffle ticket.
Yeah.
So those random people that would never come in and buy stuff at your store are coming in and dropping $100 just to get those 4 extra chances to.
Yeah. Or the person who just was buying stuff anyway got a better opportunity. It's like, I think that method works pretty well, but we're not supposed to do that. Like shops have been told not to do that anymore. So we haven't been doing that for like 6 or 8 months or whenever that happened.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't really been following the
raffle. So I don't know if shops are doing that anymore, but I thought that was the best case scenario because you're not rewarding the person who never comes in. You're rewarding the people who already support you.
Yeah.
It's like when the people hit on the raffle, it's like, oh, I know all these people. This is awesome. Mm-hmm. Versus like now it's like a bunch of names I've never seen, which is kind of like, I don't know, but cool. They can win. It's weird, but yeah, I don't get the discourse and hating on the, like even some shop owners are like super outwardly mean to like the sneaker community on their social media and stuff. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Like, yeah, I get it's annoying that they're calling your shop nonstop when something's coming out, but or like I understand the shops that are getting blown up when they don't even have a Nike account.
Yeah.
Like that's
Dude, it is
infuriating. But
I try to be clear about that stuff. I'm like, hey, this is me being direct. I just want you to understand, but it is awesome that people are that stoked on things. Mm-hmm. But it's like, stop. You can't keep asking me the same question. And sometimes you have to be really direct with people, but you can do it without being mean, like without being a dick,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that is something that, like the skate community is very exactly how I was when I was young, where I hated everything outside of skateboarding.
And it was frustrating when like we were in that period where like I know Steve and I were both like skating dunks pretty heavy, and it's like, this generic, like the first time those wheat ones came out, like 2 years ago or whatever it was, and it was like, why do you sneaker guys, like why are you dying for these boring brown dunks that are just suede to, like I just want these to skate in and I gotta fight hard to get them.
I know. Yeah, you and I had that conversation the first time those dropped, or you were like, I just can't get them. I know I've been able to get you a couple over the last 5 years.
Oh, dude, and I definitely appreciate you looking at it again. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like there's other ones where I totally get it, like some Travis Scott shit or some like Gundam ones or whatever. Like those ones are cool and everybody wants them. I totally understand not being able to skate those, but then like I said, these basic ones where it was like, it's just a suede shoe. Like, it's not.
Well, I know, like, one of the hard parts as a shop owner is most of the time you're getting one pair of every size.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't, like, people think you're backdooring or playing favorites. But, like, some of my biggest fights with the employees has been like, dude, I'm sorry, you can't get it. There's only one. You have to enter the raffle just like everyone else. And it's just been like, where it'd be like these super like frustrating conversations where like, I work here, I do all this. It like seems like I should have like first I'm like, I know it seems that way, but when we only have one, it can't be that way. It gets very frustrating, but if there's more, why the fuck not? Why couldn't my employee buy it? So that
absolutely makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I think as long as you keep it fair enough that there's at least one of every size to raffle,
right?
Whatever happens, the other ones is totally.
Yeah, that stuff's a cool, interesting world. Like skateboarding is what I love, and that's why I'm here. That's why I opened the shop. But like that side of things has become super important to me as well. Like I think like as a skateboarder, you don't realize you're into sneakers until you think about it. You're like, oh shit, like I buy new shoes every month. And you're hyped as hell every time. The only difference is we skate through them. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, people are asking like for this thing, you know, or you know, like the Nike sign or whatever. I'm like, no, that's the stuff I hold on to and cherish forever. But the shoes are gone.
Yeah.
I wish I had some of the shoes, but they're gone. And people are like, show me your collection. I'm like, oof.
It doesn't exist.
They don't
Yeah.
exist.
They're all skated through and done.
But a lot of them are just like Bruins and Blazers too, you know? It's like, or, you know, dude, I literally probably have 30 personal pairs of shoes at my feet right now. These were slept on. The Douyin Blazers, super sick.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
And I got these guys. These are pretty nice for, you know.
What is that?
Yeah, what is
A
that?
Rowan 2.
Oh, I haven't seen that colorway
Is that a
yet.
sample?
It's a VCU colorway. So
That
it's
is such a better colorway than that blue and white Willie Santos 8 looking one.
You know what's funny about that colorway is during the transit, for some reason, somebody new came in and said we're limiting the VCU accounts, which is like the Vans Checkerboard Union, which is slightly elevated skate shops, and they wouldn't let me buy into the VCU program for that drop. I was like, what? Okay, fine, I'll just get the blue and white ones. It's okay.
What a game changer that is in a different color.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
like a
pretty
different
nice.
shoe.
It still pinches the pinky though. Vans have made their shoes so damn tight, it's crazy.
Yeah, I can't wear them.
Yeah,
I can't with the soles.
the soles have got to change. Like they've just got to either retool the shoe to fit the sole. Because I loved the insoles in the Pro version. Like, the Pros were good, but now they're just so tight it kills my feet. Yeah, I don't know. Shoes, crazy.
Definitely.
But yeah,
But-
just using all those different outlets, I think, has like really made a difference. And like I said, even when I did that Instagram story today, where I was like, "Oh, what other shop owners should we talk to?" I had
Yeah.
like 5 or 6 people respond, BLUETILE, and it's like none of those people are from South Carolina.
That's cool.
Like,
That's
it's so
cool.
funny how like YouTube and Instagram and all that has like increased your reach because you're willing to engage where like
Right.
some other shop owners can't be bothered.
I think it's also hard, like, you know, if you go, I mean, you know, if like Vans flies everyone out to, you know, some contest or some kind of event, I love it. Or even when New Balance did it, I love it because like we get to kind of reconvene, you know, and see everybody, like, you know, and it's like, but it's the same shop owners that it has been for 20 years, which is in some ways really sick, in other ways kind of scary because the youth are going to come up, you know, and like, I'm opening a shop. And I'm like, oh God, please no, I don't know how I'm going to retire. But yeah, like, so it's really cool to see those guys. But dude, we're all in our 40s and 50s. How many people even know how to really dive into social media and camera settings and have the time to like do all this stuff? I literally was like, I guess a couple years ago, sat down with my crew and I was like, hey, I'm going to let you guys handle the front and you guys handle the shop, and I'm going to focus on this stuff and see where it goes. And it's helped a lot. Like I could see like, oh wow, 900 people clicked on that shoe from my YouTube channel. It's crazy though. Like sometimes people, you know, it's like that'll happen. And I'll be like, how did we get 900 clicks on a shoe and nobody purchased it, Rowan? I'm like, damn, like what is going on? I don't know. Maybe it's the price. Maybe I don't know. But it does drive engagement to the shop and dude, like I get so many like, all right, this is totally nerdy to say, and you shouldn't like share your like geek out nerd moments because like it'll definitely get back to this person and it's gonna make me look like a total nerd or geek or whatever. But I was at the New Balance demo in Charlotte, and we were skating that DIY spot there. But I was like standing on the sidelines, and this fine fellow comes over and introduces himself. He's like, "Hey man, what's up? I'm Drew. I watch your YouTube channel, I really love your videos and what you do. And blah, 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 blah. It was Andrew fucking Reynolds introducing himself to me. I'm like, this is backwards, yo. I'm supposed to be coming up to you and like, you know, like, but I was blown away. I was just like, dude, I can't believe that. And then it was also embarrassing. I'm like, oh shit, Andrew Reynolds is watching my videos.
Dude, he's sick really though. Are. Like he did the same thing. I was out at Baker Boys over the summer, and he came up to the dude we were with that like makes videos, and like recognized his voice and was just like, "Hey, you're blah blah blah." You know, he's like, "Oh, he's like, you're Harry. I know you." Like, and they just started talking, and they sat down and talked for like a half hour. Just like, you know, he didn't go up to him. Like he went and sought him out. It was sick. Yeah, he gave me some fresh tomatoes and and skated off. It was crazy though. But so like to put into perspective, it's like you never know who's watching you or who's, you know, like, you know, you walk into like Levi Brown's like, oh, Dave from blah blah blah. You know, it's like they are like if I go somewhere, people already, especially if it's sneaker related, people already know who I am and watch my videos, which is usually it's pretty crazy. It feels weird, but it's feels weird in a good way, I guess. Once I get past the self and like the embarrassment, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I think it's great. I just like how even, because I'm sure you're probably like, all right, here we go again. It's another dunk, and it's like you've already talked about the dunk.
Yeah.
But every colorway, they all kind of, some of them fit different. Some of them have different aspects to it. So that was the thing. I used to be big into Tiagos. I rode that shoe.
Tiagos are great.
2 years, 1010s.
Yep.
And I stopped riding them. I gave up on it, and because I would get them, and the shop by me wouldn't always get all the colors, so I was, you know, I have to mail order them.
Yeah.
And I was like, these don't fit. Why do these fit? The first run was a 9, and then I got 9s again, and I was like, they don't fit. They fit like they're stiff, and it was just like, so it's pretty cool. Yeah. These fit a little big. I would get these true to size, not true to size. I think it's great to have that.
Yeah. Well, dude, it feels like I literally had this thought today while I was filming the Court Purple video. As we pull these out right here, I literally had this thought today that every brand could kind of take a key, just like something from this shoe, as basic as it looks. I was like, oh, look at this, it's purple and white. I don't have anything to say about it. Well, yes, I do. It's got this different stitch style to it that no other brand does, you know, and it's got these little flaps right here that you can lace behind to protect your bottom 2 laces, even though I always tear the top ones. You know, for some reason I don't even tear the bottom laces. And it's like it's got the tongue straps and the heel pods and like all those things that seem benign and like you don't even see it when you hold the shoe up like this. If I hold up this, there's nothing like that to say about it. You know, it's like, oh, this is double layered. It's got some breathable mesh on the side. You know, I could probably say that, you know, but like there are call outs on a dunk that are specific to skateboarding that most shoes haven't done. Like there're just no call outs to a shoe that's made, you know, like, goddamn.
Well, it's crazy. You just held up a Vans and you're saying this about the Nike.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Vans, the skateboard shoe doesn't have any skateboard features on it. That's pretty wild.
Damn it. I'm looking for my Asics.
I could hold mine up. Which pair? What style?
I mean, hold up any of them that aren't the crazy teched out one, and it's like, what is different? It's like we took our regular Japan Pro and made it in suede.
They added the straps and the tongue, the padded tongue, but yeah,
the straps are in the regular ones. Little things like they put the tongue straps in. They put a little.
I thought the straps were in the regular.
No, the original Japan's no tongue strap, super thin tongue. So what they did with that, and then
so see, I don't have an Asics account to like see that.
Oh, you really don't?
No, I had to buy them. Oh, I bought them personally.
But
and he bought the Flex skis.
I bought all of them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The flex key. Did you skate those?
No, because I couldn't get my size, so I got an
They were
11.
too small
and
too,
they're
right?
Too small.
They run, yeah, because I'm a 9. I take a 9.5 in those.
Yeah. But I honestly ordered those from Japan. They cost me like $300.
Wow.
Yeah, because I had to pay
Dedication.
shipping. Yeah.
All for the channel.
Plus that shoe in particularly, it's like, this was fucking made for skateboarding. I'm like, I appreciate that. But,
yeah.
I want those details, as subtle as they are, I want to be able to call it out and say, this makes the shoe better. Like New Balance, I feel like is making some of the best shoes, most durable shoes on the market. And it's all hidden features you can't see, but I can talk about those, like, because they point it out in their, their schematics or whatever. They are making shoes very deliberately for skateboarding. And I feel like even a lot of skate brands aren't. Endemic skate brands, you're not changing the fucking world with a vulcanized silhouette of the same shoe that's being made over and over and over by every brand.
Yeah,
I get very passionate about that.
No, we have too.
Yeah, we were ready to yell at you about ASICs.
Dude, I have, like, when I first got my ASICs, I talked to Mitch about it. I wasn't sure about them, but I've been skating them a lot. That's my primary skate shoe right now, and I've been digging it because the toe box is a little more open for my.
That's what does it for me. That's why I have to skate like a Dunk or the ASICs or whatever. It's like such a
and
wide
which one
foot.
are you skating?
The Japan.
Okay, those were. That's my. I think the NBDs now. That's my favorite.
I want to try that one. I haven't tried it yet, so.
I love them. My problem is Rob over there will send me stuff here and there, and I'll buy stuff here and there.
I've hit Rob up. I think my messages go to junk.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to like roll it out slowly,
which is fine.
I just think they don't.
We honestly don't need another footwear brand.
Yeah,
no.
I'm just hyped on it.
It reminds me of like Action when it was cool. Is what I always think of. Like, this is it's a little. It's hard to get now, which is nice. There's a little mystery to it. And I like the shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the MBD was good. I just have to go. Personally, I have to half a size down. Mitch, you do true to size.
I went true to size. Now they're like perfect.
Yeah, those look cool. Got kind of a Bruin-y vibe to it.
Yeah.
That's like one of my old favorite shoes. So I probably have like 6 or 8 pairs of Bruins at home.
Which is funny because I can't wear those because they're too narrow.
Yeah, shoes fit. So it just depends on where the pressure point is on a shoe. It's like they were pretty narrow, but they fit me pretty good back then. Now I think my feet are like flattening out or something and not comfortable anymore. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm always like, we have to be careful about like what we let people consider a skate shoe, because sometimes I'm worried like brands are going to start coming in, or even the brands that exist might be like, hey, we made this model, like say an Air Jordan comes into skateboarding. Is it important for that shoe to be in skateboarding if they haven't done anything different to it, which I know they did for the Jordan 4. They changed the sole and the midsole and all that sort of stuff. But like, we have to be careful. It's like, is it cool that it's an SB and that's it? Because then people who buy shoes from skate shops might be like, oh, well, I'll just buy those Jordans from Todd Moore or wherever.
Yeah.
So it's like, it might, if we're not super intentional about what is a skate shoe, then everything becomes a skate shoe. And then people don't realize that skate shoes aren't supposed to fall apart the first time. The toe box isn't supposed to blow apart the first day you skate on. It's like, but there are differences. That like the Horitos I blew out in an hour. That shoe, it's a skate shoe, but it wasn't really. It was meant for the story, and so there's different reasons to appreciate that shoe. The amount of reach that shoe had into the Hispanic community here was amazing. It was super, like there were so many people, so many entries, and it was like just a whole different group of people that I've never seen. It was awesome to see those. Like,
yeah, that's another one like we talked about. Like, it gets faces in your doors that have never been there before.
Exactly. And how did they find that reach? That was amazing. Like, I guess just through Horitos being the partner, it's like they just found it. It's like, man. Or the Grateful Dead ones, man. Some of my friends own like kind of like hippie stores around here, and the owner, hey, are you getting those Grateful Dead shoes? I'm like, yeah, but you just got to come enter the raffle for a chance to win them because we don't get that many, you know. It's like, and I think that's fun. I think even missing, because I try to get sneakers too. I think like missing shoes makes them more fun sometimes. You know, it's like, damn it, oh well, move on. You know.
Oh yeah, even when like those Phillies dunks dropped,
Yeah.
I hit up all my friends that had shops other places because I was like, obviously I have no chance here.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, oh, let me hit this random, and I still couldn't.
So I bored everyone to death talking about sneakers all day.
Well, you know, it's funny because on our channel, one of like the best reaction, you know, the best view count, whatever we've gotten is from sneakers.
Oh, really? Crazy.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And like I was skimming through your channel, and it was like around episode 100. A little before that, there was I don't remember which one, but it was sneaker episode, and that was like way more hits than the other stuff. And you know, it's with these channels too. You got to figure out what works. Like I said, you were doing vloggy stuff in the beginning, and you know, not that you wouldn't still do something like that here or there, but it's like you figure it out, and it's just like, you know, when we did it with the sneakers, it was the corporate skate shoes and the non-corporate skate shoes, which was funny. The skate brand ones.
Yeah.
People took offense to having their etnies tarnished or whatever.
Oh, really?
Americans. Oh, yeah, they were very, very upset about that.
Oh, man. Dude, I will say I was talking to my rep about etnies the other day, and I respect what Soltech is doing, but I considered carrying etnies again. I was going to get some Andy Andersons, and they're re-releasing another shoe. Maybe I shouldn't say what it is. Yeah, I probably can't say what it is, but they're re-releasing another shoe, and I was like, damn, I want to get that. But then I thought about it, and I was like, I don't know that I want to carry a brand that is represented in Walmart. Like, I stopped carrying Dark Star, I stopped carrying World Industries, I stopped carrying Birdhouse. It's like they start having these, like, and I know they have better product too, but it takes on this image of, oh, this is at Walmart. And I don't want any part of my business to be like, this is at Walmart.
Yeah.
You know? And so I'm not carrying etnies for that reason. And I know people say like that's gatekeeping or whatever, you know, it's like some people can't afford this or that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bullshit. I've got stacks of $40 shoes on clearance. You don't have to buy a Walmart skate shoe because every shop has $40 clearance shoes somewhere. You know, you can find a, and maybe that's not the answer. Like, I don't want everybody to just buy clearance shoes either, but like, I think like buying a low quality shoe that's going to affect your knees, your ankles, your feet, your back. Why? Like,
right.
I mean, I get it, like, you might not have the money to do it, so I understand that, but it's like for $20 more, you're going to treat your body a lot better. You know?
Yeah.
And it'll last longer in the long run, too.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. So not to hate on etnies, but I decided, I mean, we talked about it at the store. It's like, should we do it? In some ways, it's more visibility. In other ways, it's like, do we want that kind of visibility? So we're just not going to carry it. You know?
Yeah, but it's good choice. Interesting the decisions that, like, as a shop you have to make in 2023.
Yeah. Well, there's so many brands. If you give anyone a reason not to, that's all you need. You're like, okay, well, that's one reason I don't need to carry that brand, you know. But, and I think like things, you know, I'm not in the market to add new brands, but then when you think like, oh, well, ASICS is making stuff. Well, my friend Sam that works at the bar across the street, I can't help but notice he's wearing ASICS, you know, so like, I know he'd probably buy ASICS, you know, so I'm like, well, why not carry that? It sells to different people as well, not just skaters. So we need that as a skate shop.
I don't know. I guess we got to plug your shit. So what's the shop's website?
BlueTileSC.com, BlueTileSC on Instagram. and then I'm just David BLUETILE on most of the social media.
Is that the YouTube too?
Yep, David BLUETILE, which is I feel like Robbie Ryan or somebody, an old rep started that, I think. Like I'd go to Surf Expo, and I think that's where David BLUETILE started. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's my shop. Yeah, and then it just kind of stuck forever.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, and Steve's like, "What's his name again?" And it took me a minute to pull it. I was like, I know it. I definitely know it.
Yeah, dude.
Toole with an E.
It's crazy. Nobody like people think my last name is BLUETILE, and if I introduce myself as David Toole, nobody knows who the fuck that is. So it's just like, yeah, it's David BLUETILE. So it is weird, but yeah, I think Robbie Ryan it was either him or Trey Womble, somebody from back in the day at the OG trade shows at like Surf Expo. I would just hear like people hollering over the crowds, David BLUETILE. I'm like, God damn, man. What the fuck is that? And it just stuck. I don't know.
We appreciate all the work you do for the community and the all the YouTube videos. Again,
yeah.
Well, if there's anything you guys would like to see, please let me know in the comments below.
The shameless YouTuber.
Yeah. No, I'm serious though, man. Like, I like the feedback. Like, you should talk about this. I'm like, okay, let me make that note. Like.
Yeah, no, it's good. Sometimes it's nice too, because like I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Yes, we should talk about that.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, that's shoes. We're talking too much about shoes.
Yeah.
We should
wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dave, thanks for coming on.
Dude, thank you guys.
Yeah.
I hope it was fun.
Definitely. I enjoyed it.
Again. I don't know.
I'll knock on it for you.
Oh, dude, speaking of, I've got a knee consultation at 9:30 in the morning.
All right, so we're out of here.
I have several floating bits of bone in my left knee.
See, that's last week we wrapped up with Steve's wife calling. This week it's Dave's doctor is like, hey, it's time to go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's great. Makes my life easy trying to find an outro because we got it.
Yay.
Perfect.